Hello, every Hammie. Uh-oh. Are we working? Let me double check. The reactive Hammie is not reacting. Oh, let's see. Why is she not reacting? Can you guys hear everything all right? Oh, interesting. Let me really quickly try something. Fugi, what you doing? Oh, okay. It's making me relog into Fugi. Let's see. Interesting. We can, Give me like 2 seconds, I'm sorry. Does she react now? Oh no, she left? Oh, it's because I disconnected from my Discord call. That's okay. It might be something to do with Fugi. In that case, though, it is out of my hands, and I do not mind scuff as long as it's, not something I can easily fix. You get me? Let's see. Let me try one more thing really quick. Just 3 more weeks and then we'll be good. Oh, that's the old Hammie. Yeah, I won't worry about it because I know I'm gonna dwell on it if I keep worrying about it and I don't just nip myself right here. So I apologize, it will be a little scuffed, but that's okay. If you're not familiar, today we are going to be playing the new Studio Elon game without a voice. If you're also not aware, it is a Yuri visual novel, so it is considered my way of just kind of celebrating Pride Month. And also just wanting to kind of get my tail wet with doing some visual novels now that I got my fancy new microphone set up. Another cool thing is that I haven't been coughing as much today, but I figured out a really easy way to mute myself if I do have to cough. So this will be a nice way of I'm taking the bit and running with it. But yes. I get a few compliments on my voice, so the people have said that they want visual novels, so I figured, what is the harm in trying it out, you know? Anyway, hi Proople. Hi Crozen. Hi Ray. I already really like the music for this. Let's see, okay. Well, I suppose we should get started, right? I made sure to refill my water, so if you want to help me out, chat, you can do it by smashing that hydration check button when you think of it, but not right now because I can definitely take a drink right now before I get started. I have not. You get nothing. Dang! Why are you so mean to me? We've got new voices. We have new channel redeems. Per my buddy Kai's request, we have added a Hammie holy shit button, so y'all can be like holy shit if I say something out of pocket, which I tend to do apparently. Hi Octoboops. I apologize ahead of time. I did have to remove the hamster dance because it was actually getting me at risk for a channel strike. And I found that out the yesterday. So we aren't going to use hamster dance anymore. No, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. That was I had a thought that maybe I shouldn't be doing this. But I really wanted to. Anyway, I took that off. I hope you guys had fun while it was there. I added a few more things. I'm still also debating like some other things I want to add later, but we'll see. I'm pretty happy with where my blurps are right now. And I do like the idea of having more like actual like requests and stuff I can do. So, anyway, let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Because I keep looking at my OBS and I'm like, your reactive isn't working.
I told you, silly. No biting, okay? You're my good little baby.
You guys don't mind watching someone eat, do you? But yeah, the longer I look at my OBS and see my PNG not working, the more mad I get. So we don't want mad. We don't want me mad. All right. But no, I have not played this one yet. It just came out, like, I literally just got the game in the mail a couple days ago. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and, I'm gonna smash that start button. Shill the game, shill the game. It's on Steam. Studio Elon has a lot of good, really good games. So I'm extremely excited. My personal favorite, if you guys want to know, I really like Highway Blossoms and I really like Please Be Happy. They're both really good. Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna smash that start button finally. Wait, hang on a second. How long has that music been going on in my background? Holy shit. Hang on just a second. I'm sorry. Okay, I don't know what the hell that was, but I'm thoroughly freaked out. My little Google speaker thingy was playing Let It Go from Frozen, and I don't know why. Anyway, how long was that playing? How long was that playing? Stop, leave me alone. Anyway, content warnings. I'll go ahead and thoroughly go through these really fast because I don't want anyone to be surprised. Ray, if you want to help me out, maybe I should make like a timer for this just to be safe. Yeah, this is from this game. There was something playing in the background of my room. Content warning. Hamster says fuck. Yeah. Nobody was surprised. I'm gonna go ahead and put a content warning on the stream because I don't want anyone to get like, I want this to be a comfortable place. Let me look at what we got here. We got violence, graphic depictions of death, gore, homophobia, implied incestuous themes, codependency, happy pride, I guess. Man. I'm gonna go ahead. Let's see. We'll just do violent and graphic depictions. So, don't be surprised if it makes you accept a thingy really quick. I was hanging out until I saw implied incestuous themes. It's okay. We're chill here. We're chill. Alright. Anyway, if any of those things bother you, please, I will not take offense if this stream's not for you. Studio Elon games, from what I've played, have been very respectful about these. So, content warnings came through. I got a pop-up. Cool, that was my first time trying to do that, so I'm really glad it was easy and worked just fine. But yeah, if this isn't for you, please, you can always support me in other streams. I will not take any sort of offense. So anyway, with that being said, let's go ahead and get started.
When cold, cruel destiny has been within her grasp.
I don't have to read all this. That's awesome.
Thou may endeavor bravely, dear, to change thy path. But fate cares not which twisted road you choose to take.
It is voiced. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't realize that, and I'm pretty excited about it. My voice will not suffer.
Your dance atop her palm, with airy choice you make.
Day 1. It was a morning like any other. Oh, okay. I do have some reading in ahead. Okay, cool. I was gonna say I you know, I wanna contribute. You know, the tragedy soon to unfold would affect so few people that time would swiftly forget it. For those involved, however, that morning was a maelstrom, drawing them each in closer and closer still. It all began innocently enough, with a certain exiled princess in a terrible predicament. Oh, she's so cute.
Oh dear, run out of firewood. Only I'd noticed yesterday. This has caught me quite unawares.
The ex-princess in question was named Cassidy, and she was the eldest child of the kingdom of Varamir. What's that, you say? You've never heard of Varamir? One shouldn't be surprised. This all happened long before the universe summoned you into existence.
The next shipment isn't due for a little while yet.
Hi, Earless! Don't push yourself!
But I cannot wait. I won't be able to cook or do laundry without a fire.
So long had the princess had been living in this cottage alone that she had taken to talking to herself just to feel less lonely. Ventriloquism? No. Determined to gather some wood before sundown, Cassidy grabbed a hatchet and some linen and then quitted the place. Once outside, she paused, considering for the umpteenth time whether it would be for the best, or would be best for her to lock the door. Oh man, I should also preface this by saying I can't read. I don't speak English. We're constantly in a state of doing our best. 1 second. Let me try something. It's not even. I'm fixing it really fast. There we go. There we go. Oh no! Well, that's a good thing, right? That's a good thing for me. You'll hear many ums or like me just stuttering on my words, and then you'll know that's me. That's Hammie.
No one will come in anyway. My brother's agents never enter. No one else travels this deep into the wood.
Convincing herself so, Cassidy turned away and headed into the forest to begin her mission. Woof woof. Guys, today's Mr. Bark's birthday. If you want to get Mr. Bark a little something, he has a section on my throne now, meant just for him. He's turning 9. I said everywhere else that he turned 10. That was a lie. Unfortunately, her determination and willpower were short-lived.
As I thought. Firewood isn't just lying on the ground just waiting to be picked up.
Though she'd brought the hatchet, she'd foolishly hoped she wouldn't have to use it. Honestly, I get it. Faced with so many different types of trees, most of them quite large, she was unsure how to proceed. She'll have to go across the rickety bridge! No one should ever go across the rickety bridge. Under no circumstances should they cross the rickety bridge. Now that I think about it, how much firewood do I usually use at once? Oh, the more I try to remember, the more addled I get. Perhaps I'll just subsist on fruits and fungus until the next crate arrives. A timely stomach growl quickly put a stop to such plans. Cassidy let out a sigh.
For now, then, I shall return to my favorite place. It always brings me peace. That place holds some magic I've always felt. I'm sure I shall be able to think of something once I'm there.
Her spirit restored, Cassidy hefted her linen satchel a little higher. It was not long until she would be comfortable again, she thought.
Why, you're as radiant as ever.
There were many views to take pleasure in this forest, but this one in particular always brought her delight. Though she had lived here now for some seasons, the tree before her seemed never to change.
I don't know much about wisteria. Are they meant
Oh,
to stay in
wisteria
bloom
trees are
year-round?
so pretty.
Perhaps the winters here are mild. Wisteria shall wither not when flakes of winter fall. Yet all must someday perish, while heeding nature's call.
But nature wields not power o'er us all.
A clear wind chime voice caught Cassidy's attention. Oh, she's pretty. Cassidy's heart struck her in the throat as she followed the sound and caught the sight of the woman sitting there. She had never seen a woman so breathtakingly beautiful. Happy Women Friday, everybody.
My apologies for interrupting your poem, madam.
It was only a couplet. You did not interrupt so much as improve it.
Oh? Then all the better. But it is not safe to be so deep in the wood. Tarry not.
I live here. It is quite safe, I assure you.
I dare say I have lived here much longer than you have.
Oh my.
No harm has ever come to me in these woods. Perhaps our experiences merely differ.
Certainly. I concede your point.
I'm really sorry if you guys heard me crack my knuckles just now. Anyway, that's what that was if you did. Cassidy paused a long while, unsure of how to carry on the conversation. ASMR. Hammie cracks her spine in 15 different places and shares it with the class. How strange. I used to make small talk with all of the courtiers as if it were nothing. Has time truly affected me so?
You say you live here?
I do.
I have never seen you. I'm quite sure of it. I would remember someone like you. Whereabouts do you live? If you don't mind my asking.
Hardly a stone's throw from where we now stand.
A stone's throw? How can that be? We got our first choice, everybody. How can that be, or that is highly suspect? I kind of like the idea of picking the sussy option, but I feel like I think she will be mad if I do. Like I'm denying what she is telling me. But, oh man, so is that. Call her a sussy baka? I'll call her a sussy baka. Just a baka. I like this art too. The artist also commented on my tweet and he was really excited. They're really sweet. I like that laugh. Ha ha ha. Just a baka. Say what again? You know what? No, I won't say it again. That was it. Oh. Back to the game. I've explored this area many a time and have never seen any abode. And her wording is so vague. What could be the meaning for that? I don't understand.
Can that be so?
Are you accusing me of being a liar?
I told you she would be offended.
Well, no. I just...
I would never lie. In fact, I am quite incapable of it.
Okay, to be fair though, how would I know that? Be nice to me. I'm just a baka. She seems even more on her guard now. What have I done?
Oh, where are my manners? My name is Cassidy. I, too, live nearby.
You may call me Elowen.
Elowen.
What a lovely name.
Besides, I was already aware that you live nearby.
What? How?
I have seen you before, albeit from a distance. You come here often.
Oh dear. I must have been making a complete fool of myself.
Oh.
I am sorry that you've had to witness that.
Cassidy thought back to all the times... Cassidy thought back to all of the complaining she'd done under this tree. And all of the times she'd sullied herself trying to gather fruit. There were many other, truly mortifying memories. She stared at the ground in shame. When she looked up, however, Elowen was smiling. Cassidy felt her tension wane.
So what brings you back to this place?
I wanted to calm myself.
Calm yourself?
But Cassidy, the firewood.
What for? What could possibly cause you distress?
No firewood. What a sour tone. Does she think I just daydream and laze about all day?
Many things. I'll have you know that at this very minute, I am on a mission that might mean the difference between life and death.
Oh, she's so cute.
Oh, and yet you dally here. What could this mission involve, pray tell?
I see my presence is not wanted here.
The girls are fighting.
I shall return to my search forthwith.
Just as she was about to turn away and leave Elowen and the wisteria tree behind, Cassidy heard Elowen laugh softly. It was a bewitching sound.
I see I have offended milady. No offense was meant, I can assure.
Really?
Truly, I would never wish to cause you pain. Tell me of your mission.
Milady?
I have run out of firewood.
Upon hearing this, Elowen stood up and dusted herself off.
Allow me to be of service.
Oh no, I couldn't possibly impose.
Please. This tree suffers so much every time you shed your tears in frustration upon it.
Oh no. The tree's an empath. Yet, despite her abrasive words, Elowen was tirelessly helpful. It was she who taught Cassidy to gather smaller bits of kindling, and to use the hatchet when that proved insufficient.
If you wrap these smaller branches together, they shall burn just fine.
I see. Oh, I am certainly glad not to have to chop down a whole tree. I was worried about that.
Don't worry, Queen, I got this for you. I mean Princess. I mean Queen. I mean Mom.
Yes.
I mean
Once felled,
Princess.
a tree can never rise again. Take of them their fruit, their branches, but spare them their roots and lifeblood.
Lifeblood?
Do trees have blood?
This forest is quite old, you know. I wish it would stay forever this way, but man has trouble leaving things be.
The disparity between Elowen's indifferent expression and the biting tone of her voice made Cassidy's heart ache. She must have had a bad experience. She must love trees. I feel like if we pick she must love trees, that might infantize her a little bit. I wonder if she had a bad experience. I'm gonna go with that one.
We humans are meddlesome things, aren't we?
Oh no, look at that cute expression. She's so adorable. Oh no, I did it anyway. Perhaps I'm making too light of her feelings. I thought that was rather an intelligent thing to say. Oh my god, she's just like me for real, for real.
You truly love this forest.
Yes. In
No
fact, I feel
escape. I
that
done
I am
goofed.
part of it. And it is part of me.
How beautiful. The two continued through the forest, gathering wood and passing the time with easy conversation. As they walked leisurely, the sun began to sink. Her voice is really pretty, though. I want her to talk more. So, too, did the satchel of wood over Cassidy's shoulder sag.
It seems that you've gathered plenty of wood now. Surely that will be enough?
You're right!
The time had quite gotten away from the exiled princess. Now that their afternoon together was coming to an end, Cassidy was afraid. Afraid and hopeful, which was perhaps more dangerous still.
Then,
Excuse me, Miss Elowen?
yes?
Might I... That is, might we meet again? You've no idea how happy I am to meet another person living in this wood. And a woman at that.
Yet the expression on Elowen's face showed that she had, in fact, some idea.
I was about to suggest the same. You might find me in this area most afternoons.
I see! Then, until tomorrow.
Oh.
Would that we meet so soon, my lady.
With that, Elowen bowed and left. Her steps make almost no sound. What a graceful woman. Not just beautiful, but elegant and smart. As she walked back to her cottage, so filled with thoughts of Elowen was her head, that Cassidy forgot all about her fatigue and the weight of her burden. She certainly is opinionated, but she must have so much more experience living independently than I.
I hope I am not a bother to her.
And with that, the once princess returned home, blissfully unaware of the roots that were this very moment grabbing hold of her heels and pulling her beneath. Ooh, I'm scared. Is Elowen bad?
It is said a fool repeats his days. Changing not, but expecting change. I posit these men are by routine hogtied. They expect not, and are by not satisfied.
Day 2. Sorry, I'm gonna adjust my mic really fast. There is a sort of melancholy one feels when closing a book for the final time, feeling its last words wash over you as you leave its world and return to your own life. It was an ennui that Cassidy had grown used to. Did I say that right? I think I said that right. In her former life, she had received the best education that money and bribery might buy. Now, that bright mind was left to languish, fed by nothing more than a single new book each fortnight. By now, Cassidy was in the habit of reading very slowly indeed. She shut her latest tome and placed it upon the table, next to her half-written letter to her brother.
I never sound quite myself in these letters.
Fortnite und drink cola? Yippee!
How do you write from a distance to one whom you once saw daily?
Ani. I'll keep that in mind next time. How embarrassing.
And how do you write anything at all when your life has grown so dull?
Thank you. I've had practice. She decided to pen a few more sentences on how moved she felt after reading the book and how profoundly distressed she was by the ending of it. Family is important, but so, too, is recognizing the value of what you have before it is too late. If only the king had realized what a wonderful daughter he had. And I hope that you realize how much you are loved by me, your one and only sister. She paused, overcome by sheer feeling, and decided to keep that final bit to herself. It was too desperate for comfort, and princesses did not whinge so.
No, that won't do at all. How unbecoming.
With a sigh, Cassidy stared at the crackling fire. She had more than enough firewood now to last her until the next shipment of it. The sight reminded her of Elowen.
I wonder what Elowen is doing at this very moment.
She could not fathom. The day-to-day life of such a mysterious personage was utterly beyond her imagination. Her curiosity so engaged, it was now impossible to ignore. And so, the fair Cassidy resolved herself to take a walk and casually seek the other woman out.
Perhaps I'll even stumble across where she lives today. Wouldn't it be exciting to surprise her at her home?
I feel like it's not going to be that simple, and I'm afraid. Thinking nothing at all of how inconvenient, how utterly forward and impertinent it might be, she departed immediately. Once outside, Cassidy took in a deep lungful of crisp forest air.
How lovely it is today. Hardly a cloud in the sky.
She took measured steps into the forest, constantly scanning the area around her, on the lookout for this elusive... Ooh, that's another word I don't know how to pronounce, but I know what it is. Domicile. Okay. Domicile. Might Elowen live in a cottage like mine? She is so elegant. I cannot imagine her doing housework. Then again, I could hardly imagine myself doing housework not so long ago. Oh, how times change a person. Cassidy reached her beloved wisteria tree before long and eagerly drank in the sight of it. She ran up to the tree and encircled it with her arms, as if meaning to embrace it.
Hello, dear tree. You are looking as lovely as ever today. Though a certain someone sits not beneath your boughs this afternoon.
She leaned to one side and then another, looking around the tree and into the forest to see if she might spy a window or a billowing of chimney smoke. Sadly, she could only make out more trees.
I can't suppose that Elowen lives in a tree house, does she?
Certainly not.
Oh, there she is.
Oh!
Startled, Cassidy jumped, her foot catching unhappily on one of the tree's roots, sending her flailing forward.
Careful.
Elowen's arms shot out at once, her vice-like grip snaring the once princess just in time. Elowen's touch was so cold, yet her movements decisive. Cassidy's heart raced. Was she truly worried for me? It took Cassidy several moments to regain her composure. Elwyn, too, looked a bit shaken. Yay! Thank you, Amamiya! Welcome to the stream!
Thank goodness you arrived when you did. Though, truth be told, if you hadn't startled me so, I would not have fallen.
Is that so? I shall endeavor to be less frightening in the future, then.
Oh, it's your little plant buddy. I like him. Oh dear, she may have mistaken my meaning. I was only trying to cover up my embarrassment. Perhaps Elwyn was joking. That is not necessary. Maybe she was joking. On second thought, was that perhaps a joke?
You look much better with a smile.
As do you. Still, how curious it is for us to be meeting here again.
You come here often? I live nearby. What is curious about it?
I'm merely saying that it is serendipitous. It must be fate.
Fate has nothing to do with it, I assure you.
But it's so much more romantic to think of it as fate.
I can think of nothing less romantic than fate.
She's seen some shit, I think.
Perhaps this is something not yet possible for you to understand.
Don't speak as though you're much older and wiser than me.
Oh, her pouty face, though. Elwyn laughed a little.
How old are you, anyway?
You never ask a lady what their age is.
How old do you think?
Cassidy stared at Elwyn, gazing deeply into her eyes, as if she might find the other woman's secrets there.
Older than I first thought, perhaps.
A wise answer.
Okay, yeah, I agree. Elwyn tipped her head slightly, the motion seeming to indicate a desire to walk on. Cassidy was only too happy to comply. Together, the two women strolled. Their time together was marked by companionable silence. Cassidy, never before a quiet girl, was desperate to fill it, but what conversation might pique Elwyn's interest was unclear. She peered shyly at Elwyn's face and profile, so striking and noble did it seem. She has the air of an aristocrat. What could someone like she be doing living in a forest? Then again, am I not in the same position? Perhaps it's something she finds difficult to speak of. An icy gust of wind whistled through the clearing, causing Cassidy to shiver and rub her bare arms.
The sun will be setting soon and it will grow colder. Perhaps you should...
It was then that the question Cassidy had been ruminating on for all afternoon burst forth.
Would you like to come to my cottage?
Oh. Elwyn appeared quite overcome.
Is that... wise?
Whatever do you mean?
How can you extend such an invitation to one such as me, whom you hardly know? You are entirely too trusting.
I'm surprised at you. Two solitary women ought to stick together out in these wilds. Besides, who else have I to invite? That is, I sometimes feel quite lonely out here. Don't you?
Elwyn turned her head slightly and gazed into the forest behind them, as if peering at something only she could see.
Loneliness, then. I see. Very well. I will take you up on your offer.
Though puzzled by Elowen's hesitation, Cassidy was overjoyed that her invitation had been accepted. There was a spring in her step as she led the other woman to her home. It was only in front of the cottage that Cassidy suddenly understood what an impetuous thing it was that she was doing. Is the house clean enough? She could not seem to recall when she had last swept or aired out her bedding.
Is this where you live?
There's so many flowers. It's perfect.
It's charming.
Oh, thank you. I wish I could take more credit for that. The house was here long before I arrived. Even the furniture is not truly my own.
Still, it suits you.
Thank you.
Bolstered by Elowen's reaction, Cassidy finally gained the courage to follow through. She opened the door wide, gesturing for the other woman to enter. As Elowen did so with her usual slow, measured steps, Cassidy could not help but notice the other woman's feet, clearly visible in the slippers she wore. Her toes are curled. How odd. They stayed that way even as Elowen entered the house. Perhaps her manner of walking is not purely for the sake of elegance, but also necessity. Had Elowen some sort of pain in her feet? Cassidy pondered on this and resolved to ask about it when the opportunity arose.
It is quite spacious. You live here, alone?
That's right. It's not so bad. I don't have anyone to tell me what to do or where to go. I have a freedom now that I'd never known before.
Perhaps. But sometimes I believe that being tied down to something is easier. If you don't realize you're being strangled, it's just a pleasant, lightheaded feeling.
I don't really understand.
It's alright if you don't.
Elowen walked slowly from one part of the room to the next, her fingertips ghosting over every surface. She looked to be seeking the essence of each object, taking in every minute flaw and deciphering its true nature. Cassidy wondered what Elowen might discover about her if only she allowed it, if only she dared. It was unbearably quiet. Just then, Elowen came across the book Cassidy had finished reading.
Oh, that's a book my brother sent to me. I get so frightfully bored here that these books have become my sanctuary. I'm expecting a new shipment soon.
Your brother?
Elowen was silent for a time, digesting that new information. And then her eyes fell on the half-finished letter haphazardly placed next to the book. Cassidy followed her gaze. Eyes wide, she leapt forward to snatch the letter away. How much had the other woman seen? She colored in mortification.
Your brother is far away from here.
Yes.
Is it beautiful? The place where you once both lived?
I have not once seen its equal.
More beautiful than this cottage prison of yours?
Cassidy could not hide her surprise at Elowen's poisonous choice of words, nor could she hide her sudden tears. I'm leaning towards it's not like that. I'm gonna take a quick sip of water. Yeah, I'll go with it's not like that. She dried her eyes delicately, but with determination. Now was not the time for tears.
Things are complicated. It's not as clear-cut as you seem to believe.
Undoubtedly. The affairs of men oft are. However, all that I need to know is that he is there, and you are here. That he is responsible for that difference can be inferred quite easily.
You are a fast reader to be able to jump to such conclusions so swiftly. I am not unhappy here, Elowen.
Can you say that, truly? With an unclouded heart?
Elowen peered into Cassidy's eyes, and their gazes held, like two magnets, pulling each other in closer and closer still. Yet Cassidy could not do it. She could not look Elowen in the eye and tell an untruth. Elowen looked towards the window.
It has gotten dark.
Oh my! How rude of me. I have not offered you tea or any refreshment.
Ooh, I could go for some tea.
Do not trouble yourself on my account. I must away. I did not mean to impose for so long.
Oh, you are hardly an imposition.
You are kind. And good.
Cassidy's face lit up.
Kind and good things do not survive long in a world such as ours.
And just as quickly as it had come, the sudden rush of delight left her. Bowing her head, the other woman was out the door and gone, leaving hurt and confusion in her wake. No. When she looked out the window to glimpse the same view that Elowen had just beheld, what Cassidy saw before her was but a bleak uncertainty.
Without wisdom or experience, storms shall ill-weathered be. But when you are nearby, dear one, no storms can bother me.
Day 3. The exiled princess paused on the very first line of her letter. Is that too familiar? Will he dislike it? The brother of her memory was a kind boy, but rather stiff, and particularly mindful of decorum. Did I say that right? Following the events of the previous evening, Cassidy felt compelled to rewrite her half-finished letter. Not that Alexander would care. I want Alexander to see me at my best. I'm a little torn on which one I want to use here. I mean, she clearly isn't being super honest with her brother if she doesn't feel that her letters have been, you know, following the usual tone she would speak in. But also, I think Cassidy really wants to be, like, she wants to come off as this really strong person. Because I think she thinks that that goes hand in hand with being, like, kind. I'm getting the vibe from. But also, I don't know Cassidy is super well yet. I want Alexander to see me at my best. Seems most in line with what we've seen of Cassidy so far. Sorry, give me like 2 seconds. I'm going to mute something I'm hearing in the background really fast. I apologize. I'm gonna put on a quick ad break really fast while I figure out what's making noise in the background this time. I apologize and give my voice a little bit of a rest for a second. Alright, every Hammie, I'm back. Thank you for waiting. I figured it out. Also, I did see really quickly before I came back, if the anonymous gifter is in the room with us right now. Thank you for buying Mr. Bark the thingy I cannot say out loud because he will lose his mind. But we both appreciate it. Thank you. I'll make sure to give him lots of belly rubs too. Oh, and thank you, Amamiya. Let's see. Let's go back to our story. I do not wish to disappoint him or bore him with my... Oh no, I don't know that word. Minute? I'm gonna look it up. This is learning for me. You know what? I'm not gonna say it out loud. I'm sorry. I'm failing. I'm failing you, chat. My original draft. She sighed, recalling the contents of the now ripped up pages. I pined far too much. I would never whine, of course, but my words were drawing near that. Expanding vocab stream. I know I need it. It's like a lot of the words I struggle with, I write in my free time and stuff, so like I used to be like really like heavily into the spelling scene when I was younger too, but man, when it comes to like actually saying words out loud, I struggle a little bit. And it also doesn't help that I'm still congested. I feel like I'm gonna like have to preface every stream lately, like for the next few weeks, just saying, oh, I'm congested, but I can do it. We could have a stream for anything though. The world's our oyster. She was afraid to admit, even to herself, how much she missed her brother. Cassidy finished the letter without much of a fuss. She wrote briefly of Elowin, a passerby, helping her find firewood. Ooh, why do I feel like that's not gonna be a good thing? I'm gonna read what I can of the letter, I think. Let me see if it'll let me. No, it will not let me. Well, I will read what I can. To my dear Alexander, I hope that this letter finds you well, dear brother. I have greatly enjoyed the last book you sent me. However, it had such a sad ending. Even though the father loved his youngest daughter so, it all came to nothing in the end. Both of them died. Can there be any worse fate than to die at your loved one's hands? I dare say not. The book has given me much to think about, though I do hope you send a happier tome next time. And then I can see where she's talking about Elowin and the, I ran out of firewood, but a passerby helped me to gather more, so all was well. Most of the contents, however, were in regards to the book she had recently finished. Perhaps this will encourage my dear brother to send me more. When Cassidy looked out the window, she realized that the sun had started to set.
Oh dear. Was I revising for so long?
I want to know where the mailman is. I guess whenever she gets her shipments, she can send a letter with them.
Silly me.
She folded up her letter and placed it in an envelope, sealing it with the royal wax seal she was given. She stood and stretched her arms above her head.
I have hardly moved all day. That is no good.
Cassidy walked to the front of the cottage, where she normally left her letters halfway beneath the door for an agent to collect. She had just stuffed her letter under the door when...
Princess?
Wait. Cassidy hasn't told her she's a princess yet, has she? Or was she just able to piece that together? Cassidy's blood ran cold for just a moment. Yet, she soon realized who was addressing her and relaxed.
You surprised me, Elowin.
She spoke to the other woman through the half-open window at the front of the cottage.
I am no princess, you know.
Yeah.
Is that so? You seem like one to me.
Cassidy was not sure how to respond to that sentiment. Have I casually let it slip that I was a princess? I did not realize that I still behaved in the manner of one. Lifelong habits cannot so soon be discarded, it seems.
There is an envelope under the door.
Oh, yes. Do leave it there. It's outgoing.
Outgoing?
Elowen paused for a long while, but said no more on the subject.
May I come in?
Oh, of course! I'm so sorry. I should have invited you sooner. I was so taken aback, you see.
I did not mean to surprise you so.
It's all right. A happy surprise. I am so glad to see you.
She opened the door and ushered Elowen inside. This time, Cassidy did not forget her manners. She quickly flew into the kitchen to make her guests some tea, and pulled out the crackers she'd set aside for such an occasion. Elowen politely sipped the tea, but did not touch the crackers. Thank you for the Thank you for the lurk, Crozen. I suppose she has already eaten. Or I wonder why she does not eat. It's okay, everybody has their own. Thank you. I feel like speculating on why she doesn't want to eat the food could be a little rude. I feel like I like the tone of this one more, so I'll probably go with I suppose she has already eaten. Oh my gosh, the sound it makes when you pick an option, it sounds so final. It's kind of scary. I guess it's the point, but I'm scared. There is a healthy glow to Elowen's face. I suppose she has already eaten. She strikes me as the type who would worry about her figure. And it is so late in the day already. Yes, I'm sure she has already supped and can eat no more. Cassidy endeavored not to take offense and instead greedily partook of the crackers herself. The two women talked pleasantries for some time, though it became rather apparent that Elowen's attention lay elsewhere.
Is everything quite all right?
Why do you ask?
You seem somewhat reserved. That is more than usual.
That letter. You said it was outgoing. Is that the letter you wrote your brother?
Let her proofread it for you.
Oh, yes. If I leave the letters there, someone will come collect it.
Someone? How can that be? You do not go into town to have your mail delivered?
She has a good point. I was wondering that. She was at a loss as to how to explain. Cassidy herself knew that her situation was extraordinary. Extraordinary. Oh my gosh.
You see, though I live alone, I am well taken care of. My brother provides everything. Every fortnight or so,
Fortnite
his agents
mentioned.
deliver food and supplies to me. Someone is around to collect my outgoing letters once or twice a day.
You could also invite that person in for tea too. I wonder if she's tried.
I only ever send my brother letters, of course.
I was not wrong when I said this place was like a jail.
Jeez.
Why do you live here alone? when he clearly has enough resources to take care of you?
Cassidy shifted uncomfortably in her seat. Elowen's eyes seemed to not look at her so much as bore into her soul. Cassidy felt judged and deemed unworthy, though she had not yet responded to Elowen's inquiry. No matter how she phrased it in her head, it sounded awful.
I am here for my own safety.
She took a deep breath.
When you called me Princess earlier, you were not far off the mark. I once was a princess, though I am no longer. After my father, the king's death, I was to inherit the throne. But our barons in Parliament voted no confidence. Worse, I was then handed trumped-up charges of treason. I very well could have been executed. Instead, my younger brother intervened on my behalf.
So, you are...
Alive. In exile, but alive.
The former princess surprised herself at the depth of her own feelings, at the desperation with which she tried to convince especially herself that this was for the best.
It's not so terrible. This cottage is lovely. It is a good thing to be among nature like this.
How can you be so positive?
What?
You speak so fondly of your brother, when he is the one who exiled you, who left you here to rot in isolation.
It's not like that, Elowen.
What part of what I said is false? Tell me.
It's not that simple. It is not Alexander's fault.
She found herself repeating her thoughts on the matter mechanically, things she only half believed. She said all of these things before. It seemed she no more believed them now.
As a result of your dear Alexander's intervention, you were exiled, were you not? Who's to say he was not responsible for the unfavorable vote in the first place?
Why would he do that? What would he have to gain?
The throne.
It is not my brother's fault. He could have let them kill me, but I am alive thanks to him.
Ooh, hydration check. I had just picked up my cup. Shrimp check I can't say I am much more confident with, so I will unshrimp and hydrate. Alright, thoroughly hydrated. I gotta show you guys my my big streaming cup sometime because I've almost got it filled up with stickers and I'm really excited about it.
I've previously stated my belief that you are kind and good. I have now revised my opinion.
Oh,
You
dang.
are a blind fool.
No, the girls are fighting again.
As I am mute, you are blind. Altogether too blind to the selfish ways of the world.
What is your meaning?
It is nothing. Believe in your brother all you wish, but you cannot deny that there is a truth to what I've said.
Elowen rose from her seat in one swift movement and then headed for the door.
Good night, princess.
I am princess no longer. Mock me not, I beg you.
Just like that, she was gone, disappeared into the dark. Cassidy wrapped her arms around her torso, hugging herself for comfort in the wake of Elowen's sudden, indignant anger. Feeling comfort none, the former princess squeezed her eyes shut. Oh, Alexander, if only she knew you as I do. Then she would understand. Oh no, is this the incestuous themes? Is this what they mean?
There is a treasure that can't be bought, no matter how long it may be sought. It is something priceless, yet free. I speak, of course, of an apology.
I need to know who Elowin's voice actress is, because she sounds really familiar. Day 4. Also, guys, I'm going to quickly save really fast. The weather where I'm at is a little bit iffy, and I did notice I'm having a little bit of a hard time keeping connected to chat. So give me just a quick sec. I just want to be safe. But anyway, if the quality takes a nosedive or anything, it is a little bit out of my control, but I will try and make sure it doesn't disturb the stream. I will go outside and fight it myself. Anyway, after a restless sleep, Cassidy awoke to the sun's harsh rays. She stretched, arching her back to release the tension there. Finally, her gaze went toward the front door. There was a distinct lack of letter beneath it. They must have come in the night. How diligent my brother's agents are. You are a blind fool. All at once, the memories of her argument with Elowin nearly knocked the wind out of her.
I cannot believe I divulged such secrets to someone I barely know.
Cassidy was puzzled, both at herself and at Elowin's odd behavior. What a shock that was. Or, I'm sure she had her reasons. She's kind of given me a lot of vibes that she definitely had something. She might be more similar to Cassidy than we realize. That's the vibe I'm getting from Elowin. Like, she's also been through some shit. She's seen some shit. And I'm also reconsidering whether or not she might be of the paranormal. Anyway, I think I'm gonna go with I'm sure she had her reasons, I think. I mean, it was also pretty shocking, but let's try and be understanding. Elowin appeared so upset. I wonder if she experienced something similar. Perhaps my blind optimism reminded her too much of it. I'm sure she is only worried for me. I seem to inspire that breed of pity in others. I can understand that. I'm afraid I often come off as quite helpless.
I must ask her about her own life. We know so little about each other. It's no wonder she would react that way. One can only draw conclusions based on what one already knows.
Oh man. Small pause. I got so scared when I heard the knocking at the door because every time there's knocking, Mr. Bark goes nuts, like absolute bonkers. He's that kind of boy, which I'm sure you all gathered just from how he is. But I was really scared for a second. Anyway, presently, there was a knock at the door. Given how long it had been since her last shipment, as well as the fact that Elowin was far more likely to announce her presence with words, Cassidy could draw but one conclusion. She waited nearly 10 minutes before opening the door. It was protocol. Oh, okay, that explains it. It was protocol. She knew not who her brother sent, and it was unclear whether they knew whom they were delivering to. The royal family of Varamir had a distinctive look to them. It would not do for too many people to know who she was, or that a former princess dwelt there. When she finally allowed herself to open the door, she found a large wooden crate not unlike the previous ones. Sitting atop the crate's contents were a sealed envelope. Cassidy instantly recognized the severe cursive. To my sister, I am glad to hear that you were adjusting well to life at the cottage. Doubtless there are many things that challenge you, given your former life, but we must all make the best of things. I know that you have too much time on your hands, so I have been sure to enclose more books for you to read. You may, one day, be called upon to marry well for the advantage of a king and country. As such, it is of the utmost importance that you keep your mind sharp and your hands unidle. That last part seemed to have been written later, as the script looked slightly different. I think of you often. I worry about you more often still. Be safe in the forest and keep to yourself, though I know that is difficult for you. Please await my next letter. I remain your loyal brother, A. She read over the letter many times, trying her best to glean affection from it.
Alexander has always been a little awkward. I'm sure the last bit was added with some reluctance, after one of his advisors chastised him for the content of his letter.
Oh, thank you for the follow, the wannabe weeb. Hello, welcome to the stream. She smiled and ran her fingertips along the part that read, I think of you often. But then she remembered the sentence about marriage. How thoughtful, or I don't want to marry. I'm a little stumped on this one. Chat, do you have any suggestions? Oh, it's early in the morning for me, so I'm just stopping by to say hi and say this game good. Ooh, I'm really glad to hear that. Thank you very much for stopping by, though, even though it's so late. I hope you have a wonderful rest, and thank you again. I'm really enjoying it so far. Let's see. I think I'll go with... Oh, and you got it. I'll hydrate. I think I'll go ahead and go with the how thoughtful option. She hasn't really talked about her thoughts on marriage yet, but this probably hints towards it, or else it wouldn't be an option. But how thoughtful. I'm sure that Alexander does not wish me to live the rest of my life here. How thoughtful of him to find some way for me to escape exile. Even if it's through a political marriage, I must say, I'm not very excited at the prospect. The letter did not raise her spirit as much as letters from Alexander usually did. The implication of it weighed on her. Of course, I must be useful to the kingdom somehow. Why else would I be alive, if I can be of use, even as a disgraced princess? Cassidy sighed. She could not finish that thought. All of a sudden, Cassidy wanted nothing but to see Elowen again. That's good.
I will seek her out. I must.
The other woman's presence would certainly be a salve for her current mood. That was her reasoning, and she swiftly acted upon it. Cassidy set the crate away inside the cottage and then set out. After a long, fruitless walk about the forest, she arrived in front of the wisteria tree.
Elowen.
Princess?
I am no longer a princess.
Just because you no longer live in a castle does not mean that you are no longer a princess.
Cassidy was reminded of the word marriage once again. Elowen was right. She was still considered a princess, insofar as a princess could be useful. Yeah, it's a good line. A long silence passed between them. Both were conscious, no doubt, of the argument that had transpired between them, an argument they had yet not resolved.
I'm sorry.
Elowen's eyes widened almost imperceptibly, but Cassidy, staring into the other woman's face as she was, took note.
I should not have burdened you with my circumstances to begin with. But you were only worried for me. I should have been more sensitive in my explanation.
No.
Hmm?
Cassidy was struck by the sight of Elowen's soft smile as she laughed. The former princess's heart fluttered and her brother's letter was promptly forgotten.
It is nothing. It would seem that I, too, am quite the fool.
The air thusly cleared, the two women were able to enjoy the rest of their day together. They whiled the time away in companionable satisfaction. That night, Cassidy drifted off to sleep with a full heart.
The strings of love are oft unseen. Though wrapped around you, they may be. When tied fast, none can come between, nor challenge humble fate's decree.
Day 5.
How beautiful it is today.
Indeed.
Oh, did they start off the day together this time? Elowen had surprised Cassidy early that morning, arriving at her front door without warning. Oh. Though Elowen didn't even knock, silly creature. I wonder if she would have left if I hadn't seen her and opened the door. The thought bothered her, almost as much as the notion that Elowen might not yearn for Cassidy's company the way Cassidy did for hers. After some time spent lingering, both paralyzed by indecision, they decided to go on a leisurely nature walk. For the next few hours, they strolled through the forest together, stopping here and there to pick berries or mushrooms.
That one is poisonous. Do not touch it.
Right.
Oh man, she was a little stern. I mean, that's fair, I guess. Cassidy drew her hand back in mortified alarm.
It would not do for your lovely skin to be marred by poisonous spores.
Cassidy hazarded a glance at the other woman's face, but Elowen looked as unflappable as ever. Poisonous? Don't question her. I think I'd rather be safe than sorry. How do you know so much?
You know so much about the flora and fauna here. However did you learn it all?
I have lived here many years. In that time, I have witnessed many interesting things.
Oh yeah, she did mention she's been here a really long time.
I have learned much, letting the people who pass through educate me.
She reminds me a little bit of Miho from Please Be Happy, but like a more mature Miho. I like Elowen though. I like Miho too, don't get me wrong.
However,
Hmm?
it's been a solitary life. I have seen much, but experienced little.
And slayed much.
Elowen.
I have long felt like someone on the outside, looking in on a world I could never touch.
There was a melancholy in Elowen's countenance that Cassidy had not yet seen, nor even thought that the woman was capable of. The Elowen she knew was dignified, taking such charge of her emotions that none of her showed. I have not known her long, of course. Perhaps that was merely how she comports herself around those of little acquaintance.
What made you decide to reach out to me?
Reach out.
That is...
She thought back to their first meeting, the way her own heart had leapt at the sight of Elowen. And Elowen had known all about her, and had apparently been watching her for some time.
You didn't have to be sitting under the tree that day. You could have continued watching me from afar. But you found me. You spoke to me.
And I'm so glad she did, but I fear she might call me silly if I say such a thing.
Hamster.
Oh my god, that startled me. I got startled by the hamster this time.
I thought you delicately beautiful.
Riz. The matter-of-fact way that Elowen said this struck Cassidy. She was flattered, of course, yet part of her was also worried. The Rizzler. Excuse me for just a second, I need to cough. There we go. Beauty was not something lasting. It would be a shaky foundation for any relationship. If it had been a courtier complimenting her beauty, Cassidy might have taken it better. But this was Elowen, a woman of who she was becoming increasingly fond.
Thought? That's past tense, is it not? What do you think of me now?
I still think you exceedingly beautiful. But dainty and delicate you are not. You are far from being the poised princess I took you for.
Cassidy winced and her mouth formed a little pout as she turned her eyes towards the ground. As I thought. It is to be expected. Someone so graceful as Elowen would, of course, find me lacking.
You are not what I expected, but I believe that might be for the better.
Slowly, Cassidy tilted her face up, her eyes glowing large with disbelief.
For the better?
You are always exceeding my expectations.
Oh man. Yesterday I didn't feel like it.
I wonder if the other people I allowed to come and go would have as well, had I let them so near.
Well... It may be selfish of me, but
Sorry. Give me a quick sec.
I'm truly happy you let the others go. I'm glad that I'm the only person you allowed close. I'm sorry, that makes me sound so...
No, it's okay.
so ugly.
No.
You like her.
No uglier than I.
Suddenly, in Cassidy's eyes, Elowen looked so very haggard. She peered through the polished veneer and saw a woman who was tired and hungry. Oh no, her sprite changed. Oh, poor thing.
Are you alright?
Is she the wisteria? Is she the tree? I'm also frequently tired and hungry. In a blink, Elowen appeared to be the same as always.
I am fine.
Even so, Cassidy could not shake the feeling that something was off.
Are you quite sure? You seem tired.
Elowen was silent for a long while.
Yes. Perhaps. Perhaps I am tired. Forgive me. I am not used to the midday sun.
Well, I mean, she's so fair. It occurred to Cassidy that then she had never seen Elowen in the morning before. Could she be something of a night owl? I hadn't supposed it. And here I invited her to walk with me, underneath the full blaze of the sun. How thoughtless I am.
Elowen,
Yes?
why don't you stay with me at my cottage tonight?
She's a stayover.
What?
Well, I am worried about you. And it can't be easy, being a woman and living alone.
She knew this best of all.
I would be much more at ease if you would come with me tonight. Let us break bread together and while away the night in comfort.
She was not expecting Elowen to accept, not Elowen, who had reacted so strongly to an invitation merely a few days earlier. And yet...
All right.
Really?
Oh, she accepted it.
Would it be better if I returned to my home?
No, I was just worried that you would not accept. I realize that's not very dainty to be so forward.
At this, Elowen finally smiled. Cassidy's heart felt akin to an acrobat at the sight, doing backflips and pirouettes in joy.
It would be my honor to accompany you. It may do us both some good.
Sleepover! Sleepover! As ever, Cassidy was far too excited to hear the latter. Looking forward to a night with her new favorite person, she had already changed course and started along the path home. Cassidy closed the front door behind them and went to the kitchen to put away the plants they'd gathered.
Is there anything I can help with?
Oh, leave it to me. Just have a seat and rest. You really do look tired.
All right.
While she put her affairs in order in the kitchen, Cassidy couldn't help but think back to the things Elowen had said. She said that she likes me the way I am. That's so kind. She felt a deep sense of warmth and satisfaction, the likes of which she had not felt in a long time. Cassidy returned to the living room a short while later, 2 cups of tea in hand.
Oh!
She found Elowen asleep, slumped on the divan. Is that how you say that? Poor thing, she must have been exhausted. There was a loose strand of hair in front of Elowen's face. Cassidy reached down and tucked behind her ear. She looks so innocent when she's asleep. Chuckling to herself, Cassidy let Elowen rest and passed some quiet time reading by the other woman's side. Night soon fell, and the pair supped together. Elowen doesn't eat very much. No wonder she's so thin. Elowen, unaware of being observed so directly, delicately sipped a glass of water.
Are you full?
I am satisfied.
Oh, you eat so little. I'm worried for your health.
I eat enough. I do not like doing anything in excess.
I see.
Her tone left no room for argument. After dinner, Cassidy cleared the plates and things away and began to get the room ready for sleep. The cottage was not large. Her parlor had to double as her bedroom out of necessity. But it was all well and good for a single person. But now that another had been added, Cassidy became acutely aware of her lack of space.
There's only one bed.
Uh-oh. You heard, chat. Only one bed. AO3 in shambles.
I do not mind sleeping on the divan.
I did say it right. Yes!
I already did earlier.
Once again, I'm sorry that I didn't wake you up. You just looked so at peace. I could not bear to wake you.
I'm embarrassed to have allowed you to see me in such a state.
Oh.
I only fear...
Hmm?
No, it is nothing. I will gladly sleep on the divan or the ground. I am not choosy.
Oh, that won't do at all. You're a guest.
Cassidy gulped. Truth be told, she had one other, much more preferable arrangement in mind. Share the bed, share the bed, share
We
the
could
bed.
Share the bed. There's room
Share
enough
the
for
bed,
two.
share the bed.
I notice you do not offer to sleep on the divan.
Oh. Struck by her own lack of graciousness, Cassidy bit her lip, cowed into silence.
I am only teasing. If you do not mind being so snug, I will be happy to share the space with you.
We enjoy being snug as a bug in a rug.
Nothing would please me more than to be close to you. I mean... Yes! Wonderful! I shall fetch another pillow then.
Wow, women. She flew out of the room to retrieve a spare pillow from the closet, face burning with embarrassment. They are
Do you
snug!
have enough space? You're not too cramped.
Their jammies are so cute.
I am fine. Truth be told, I do not mind the proximity.
There was a faraway look in Elowyn's eyes.
I'd been alone for so long. Until you came.
How did you come to live here in the forest? Where is your family?
Ooh. This one's tough. Because maybe she can't say, but we also told her a bunch of stuff that we cannot say. Or is she embarrassed? I don't think she's embarrassed, but she could be embarrassed. Why the hesitation? Come on. We're friends here. Friends. It's a simple question, is it not? Why does she have such trouble talking about it? She won't talk about herself, and I'm curious as to why. Though, I suppose my own situation was not so simple to speak of. That's what I'm saying.
Has your family gone away?
Elowyn, with her mouth in a grim straight line, stared at Cassidy.
It is a trying subject. I'm not quite sure where to begin.
She took a deep breath.
I have lived here all my life. Once I was not alone, but...
Elowyn paused and sighed.
You remember the wisteria tree?
Yeah.
Of course! That's my favorite place in the entire forest.
Have you noticed that there are no other wisteria trees
Did
around it?
I get it? Did I already guess it?
Now that you mention it.
She never had thought about it, but as Cassidy searched her memories, she realized that Elowyn was correct.
You're right. I wonder why that is.
I love it when I can guess something. It's part of like my joy of reading.
There is
The hamster
an
wheel
even
do be
older
turning.
wisteria tree deep in the forest. But now those are the only two left, and they are so far from each other.
Chat, I apologize. I might need to step away again really quick and grab a tissue. I've been doing a pretty good job of keeping it muted, but I am sniffling a lot, and I think one blow of my nose can fix me physically and emotionally. So I'm gonna put on a quick ad and I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Thank you for holding on, chat. I feel so much better. Man, it's really hard not having the reactive PNG sprite today. I'll definitely try and get this fixed ASAP. But let's keep going. Wait, let me make sure that the ad didn't... Okay, the ad finished up. I just want to make sure, as much as I like being able to run ads on my channel, I never want you guys to ever miss out, so I try not to go overboard with it. But I keep getting off track. Let's find out more about this wisteria tree.
So it is with me.
Cassidy found her choice of words puzzling, but nodded.
I once had siblings. They have long since departed, so I don't really have family here anymore. Others have come and gone, as I said, but I could not relate to them. I watched them from afar without entering their lives, and did not mourn them when they left mine. And so, the years went by.
It would make sense, it would make sense. Why we never saw her house, why she knows so much about so many people, yet hasn't ever met them. How she knows Cassidy hasn't been here nearly as long as she has. Because wisteria trees, they live a long time. Cassidy snuggled just a little bit closer to the other woman, as if to show meaning through actions where words might fail. And so they passed the night together in pleasant company and warm conversation.
When the sunshine blazes down, I soon begin to wish for rain. But when you've gone away, my dear, I soon long for the sun again.
Day 6. Cassidy awoke alone with a cold space beside her. No, come back. Again, she's gone in the morning. What could she be doing so early?
It's highly suspect.
Sus. She could no longer ignore the gnawing feeling of dread. Perhaps she would ask Elwyn upon their next meeting.
I'll have to be careful with the rest of my supplies. The next shipment is a while away yet. Cannot feast with Elwyn too often. Still, what a wonderful night that was.
Each precious memory had been carved into Cassidy's heart. She yawned and slowly pulled herself out of bed. With or without Elwyn, she would have to get on with her day. Cassidy hummed a little tune to herself as she cleaned up and prepared breakfast. Sitting down at the table with her bread and morning tea, she glanced at her stationery set left by the vase. A lot has happened. Perhaps I should write Alexander a letter. I mean, she had such a hard time writing the last letter. She has a lot to say now if she's feeling, like, motivated. But also, Alexander seemed a little keen on her not trusting anyone, too. So this could be a double-edged sword. Like, there's not really a... That could be dangerous, but, like, at the same time, maybe she wants to talk about it. Let's... You know what? I think I'm leaning towards no. I think no might be... Yeah. She shook her head.
That can wait. I'm more worried about what Elwyn is up to now.
Though always lonesome before, the former princess's life now felt so much emptier without Elwyn's presence. Though she should be accustomed to such solitude, she could barely concentrate on her usual chores.
To think that a few days could change a person so.
In a lull in her activities, Cassidy's gaze went to the window. Deep in the forest, her beloved wisteria tree stood. She could see it so clearly in her mind's eye. Elwyn is like that tree. Elwyn's like that
very
tree.
much like that tree. She said as much herself. So beautiful and haunting and alone.
The other woman's words from the night before weighed heavily on Cassidy. She passed the rest of the day peacefully, but with a sense of unease. The next day came, and still no Elwyn. Cassidy was left with nothing but her own thoughts. No, come back. And thinking of Elwyn perturbed Cassidy greatly. In the last several days, the woman had embedded herself into Cassidy's life like a thorn.
I never expected to become close to another person again.
She thought about Elwyn and the things the other woman had said. The hours spent together that were so few, but felt an impossible eternity.
I never did ask her about her feet. Why are her toes always curled?
Despite
how she looks, she must be much older than me.
Like roots?
She has a proper way of speaking.
Maybe they're called like
Always
roots.
says she's lived in the forest a long time. And with the intricacy of her clothing and her manners.
Something did not quite add up. Elowen did not seem to like people much. Certainly, it did not seem her presence in the wood, despite how long it had been, was known to many. Alexander most probably would not have sent me here if it was known that a beautiful woman was living alone in this very wood. Where did Elowen come from? Why was she alone? She still had no satisfactory answer. Thinking it all over, Elowen is strange. Elowen is unearthly. Yeah, those are both not very nice things to say about your girlfriend. I mean, maybe not girlfriend yet, but she is a little unearthly though. And I don't think it's really that rude to think that. Also, I'm sorry I'm not chatting a lot. It legitimately feels like Hammie is reading me a bedtime story, and it's so insanely comfy I keep spacing out. Oh, no worries. I kind of figured that would come with the, that would come with the territory of reading a novel. Like, it's a story. I'm reading you a story. It's kind of like ASMR a little bit. I don't know if I would consider it good enough to be ASMR, but I'm really happy that I could help. I could relax. Thinking it all over, let's do Elowen is unearthly. Well, I'm glad it's cozy. Cassidy suddenly realized that all of the things she knew about Elowen pointed to something potentially horrible. She'd been so overcome by the woman's peculiar charm and beautiful looks that she had overlooked something. Uh-oh. Cassidy shook her head. Perhaps she was jumping to conclusions too quickly.
I must be a little lonely, that's all. I haven't seen her since that night. She has always been honest with me, even if there are some things she cannot yet reveal. She is capable of joking, though she does not do it often. Her smile is so precious. She can be blunt, perhaps, but I believe she means well.
Remembering the last several days. No! She's not monstrous! Oh my god, another knock. Presently, there was a knock at the door, startling Cassidy out of her deep thoughts. It was a short knock, a signal for a letter not accompanying a box. Oh, welcome back, Poople. No worries.
A letter? So soon after the last?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, I'm nervous.
Perhaps my brother finally understands just how much I miss him.
Is he gonna come visit? This seems bad. I don't know about this. If I leave here, if one day Alexander allows me to leave, what else awaits me?
Is a political marriage truly my only means of escape?
If I can be useful to the kingdom in any way, is that better? Will my life no longer be considered a waste? Alexander, did you ever truly love me? I will trust in you and wait. I mean, I'm starting to wonder about what Elowen told us. She seems awfully wise, even if it was a bit aggressive at the time. Plus, I'm also just kind of like nervous. We don't know anything about the brother other than like the letter and what Cassidy has mentioned to us. You know what? I'm feeling a little chaotic. Let's see. Alexander, did you ever truly love me? Is the precious younger brother that I once knew completely gone? Are you truly the one who has been writing me these letters? Oh god, I didn't even think about that. Oh. One negative thought spiraled into a dozen. She let out a long sigh. Her thoughts had taken her on a not-so-merry chase.
If I dwell on these thoughts, there will be no end to them.
She brewed herself a cup of tea to calm her nerves and began reading a new book. From time to time, her eyes went, somewhat nervously, to the window. And so, evening fell. Cassidy was sitting on the divan, enjoying a warm cup of tea as she read her latest book her brother had sent her. It was a darker tale than she was accustomed to, the tale of a tragic young mermaid. I thought he was going to send her happier books. Now I'm already kind of getting mad at the brother. It seemed to be a fairy tale from a faraway land. Certainly, Veramero had simpler, happier stories. Or perhaps those were the only ones she had been allowed to learn.
Goodness. Every step she takes feels like walking upon knives? How dreadful! How could this author be so terribly cruel?
Suddenly, the front door to the cottage swung open, without knock or warning. Cassidy dropped her book in alarm. Oh, that seems not good. There was something dreadful standing in the doorway.
A monster?
Cassidy muttered this under her breath, overcome by fear and awe.
It is not safe here.
Yet no matter the appearance, Cassidy would never mistake that voice. Melodious, she had found it not long ago. Beautiful, she had thought its bearer until this very moment. She would be hard-pressed to describe Elowen as beautiful now. I don't know, I think she's pretty. Maybe gone through it, but she's still pretty.
What did you say?
There is a large army approaching from
Oh
the east.
no.
They wear your colors.
Alexander.
Cassidy could not help but gasp. The monster nodded.
I am afraid so. You must away with me.
Cassidy bit her lip. Alexander would not harm me. If anything, they must be here to protect me. From this monster.
Yes.
No!
Yes, of course.
Quickly grasping the situation, the ex-princess calmed herself and tapped into her many years of diplomacy lessons.
I will come right away.
Then,
Would you mind waiting for me outside? I will gather my things quickly.
There's no time. She's gonna say there's no time.
yes,
No, she's not.
I won't be but a moment.
of course.
Oh man. The monster turned and left through the still open door, and its movement slow and measured as always. As soon as Elowen was outside, Cassidy flew forward and slammed the door shut.
Cassidy.
She's trying to help you. Ignoring Elowen's sad, feeble voice, Cassidy locked and bolted the door. For good measure, she dragged the divan in front of it. The door shook as Elowen tried to enter, but would not give way.
Why?
How can I possibly heed the words of a monster? Who knows what you will do to me once you have me outside?
She hasn't really given you any reason to think that. She must be a demon, here to corrupt me. It is just as Alexander said to the barons.
I allowed your beauty.
Oh
Your
my
charm to corrupt me.
goodness, Cassidy, no.
I have sinned. I will sin no longer.
Why?
Be gone, monster! Darken my doorstep no more!
I got a bad ending, didn't I? Everything's going to shit. Elowen said nothing in reply. But then, wordlessly, the monster ambled towards the windows.
Oh no. I didn't think about blocking those.
But the monster made no move to enter forcefully. It just stood there with the same blank look on its face. In some ways, Cassidy felt that was worse. And the night passed like that, with Cassidy pressed against the door in fear and Elowen standing in place, still as a tree. Watching. Eventually, after what felt like a lifetime, the sun rose.
It's finally morning. If the army truly is coming, I wish they'd get here sooner.
The day breaks.
Cassidy looked to the window in alarm. Could it be that Elowen hadn't slept either? Elowen stood there, looking even more haggard than she had the night before. No, she's beautiful. The monster's gaze was unfocused. It seemed not to be looking at Cassidy, but rather through her.
I have failed. I could not understand the most important thing. I could not convey my love without a voice.
No!
And so
Name dropped the visual
this
novel.
wisteria must wither in the harsh light of seventh day past.
Before Cassidy's eyes, Elowen crumbled and wilted into wilted wisteria petals and dust. The monster, the woman, was no more. Deep in the wood, a wisteria tree once adored by a maiden withered and died away as well. No, that was a bad
When bargain is
ending.
struck, its terms must be met. Else take on your fate, and more suffering beget.
Ash to ash, end. Well, we got an ending. That seemed like a bad ending. I do think I'm gonna go ahead and call it for tonight, but I definitely would like to read more. And if you guys enjoyed this, then I'll definitely do more visual novel reading. I had a lot of fun. I was a little worried because I was pretty worried that it wouldn't be entertaining, to be honest. Just having me read, or that I didn't have like the voice for it or anything, but it feels like it went really well, and I really like the story so far. So why don't we do this again next week? I'll pick a day. Keep an eye out for the schedule. So we will, I want to get a good ending, a better ending, if one exists. I want to know more. There is so much going on. And I really want to know more about Elena. So yeah, cool. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I'll go ahead and let's see who we can raid for tonight. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I was like, it's not super exciting for a Friday night to read, but I don't know, it's been a long week. And I really wanted to read more visual novels, so this was a really good run. Here, I'm gonna go ahead. I also really like the music, and I just like the world, the like scenery here. It's a really nice story. I just wish I had gotten a little bit of I wish I hadn't gotten the very clear bad ending though. And I want to know what the army is there for, because like what if it's bad? Oh, I gotta read more. Okay. Keep an eye out for the schedule. We'll read more next week. Hold on. Let me go ahead and... I'm gonna switch over to my chatting screen. My chatting screen for now, while we look for somebody to raid. Let's see, let's see, let's see. Following, let's take a look. Who do we got here? Ooh, Crozen is live. We should go. Let's go and raid Crozen. Crozen, a good egg. Okay, it looks like Crozen is streaming The Legend of Heroes, Trails from Zero. I'm not familiar with the series, but who doesn't want to go hang out with a crow? Here, okay. Let's see. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and send you guys over. Thank you again for dropping by tonight. I had a lot of fun reading. We'll read some more soon, I promise. Now that I know you guys are really into it, and I did a good enough job narrating. I definitely would love to do more because I really love visual novels, as you all know. But yeah, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get you guys sent over. Thank you again. And give Crozen a nice Ham Nation welcome.